What's going on, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. A lot of the same trades that I've been in, over here. You can see the entry points. I don't give away, the stop losses or the take profits. That's in the Discord because it would be unfair for the people who are in the Aldo Empire Discord who are paying for them. A lot of swing trades are the things I give away for the most part, like in there, or I put in there. Some scalp trades occasionally. If you guys watch Trading Wars earlier today, I did well this week. I'm not always going to be the number one person there, but there was a good Bitcoin long that I took in there, and I also gave that trade setup in the Discord. So if you guys are interested in Discord, link down below. FAIRDESK, I was talking about Grid Exchange, BloFin, Grid Exchange. Those are the top two ones. For no KYC and no VPN required. And then Bybit, if you're comfortable with KYC, that's a really good one as well. If you sign up and deposit at least $100 down to any of those, I'll give you one free month in Discord. Just open a support ticket with your UID in there. So, yeah, let's get into the real analysis right now. The main thing, a little freebie for a potential setup there. Not 100% sure if it's gonna, definitely play out here, but decent shot. I like the 5 hour. I like continuation, potentially up to 71K. Which is going to be that kind of big area. Look, your weekly trigger wave right here, if we simplify trading down as simple as possible, you would be mainly only looking for, longs until that kind of plays out, until probably you get maybe a trigger wave on the downside on the 2-day, things of that nature. You got to see more bearish things to kind of play out before we could be more confident in any of these, potential shorts. You do have a bear div here on the 12 hour. Your money flow is not bad though. So, it could easily, kind of come up higher with that money flow, especially if we do, come up to 71K, that kind of area right there. So that's what we're kind of looking at. And, funding fees too. If we look at funding fees, like I was looking at before, still generally negative. That's on the ETH right there, but Bitcoin too. And then on this link, oh man, I've made a lot just getting paid to take this trade because a lot of people are still shorting this. It's different on every exchange, but for the most part, you still have a lot of people shorting these markets. Don't ask me why. It's just a lot of times throughout those rallies upward, mainly negative fees. Throughout those those dumps downward for days, mainly positive fees. It's just how it is. The average. A lot of the money overall goes in the opposite direction of the way the market generally goes. So that's just what you got to realize there. And obviously, if you're just trading based on funding fees, I don't think that's enough to be profitable. But it's one of the many things. One of the many things to look at. Trigger wave right here on the 2 hour. And then we'll look at ETH in a second. There's more trigger waves on ETH and Bitcoin. ETH has been lagging a little bit as of late, which it may continue to do that until the Fed actually pivots, most likely in September. Short-term time frames, trigger wave right there in the 2 minute. I could see more upside potential. I don't see a major reason to short at the moment. If we look at Ethereum, trigger wave right there, it's making a higher wave. That looks pretty good. 4 hour, looks pretty good. Potentially jumping up to like 3,600. So yeah, you look at that, that type of situation right there. That could even be a hidden bull div for continuation on ETH. Common sense would tell you if we break up out of this range, you're looking at least 3,600, probably a little bit more. And then if we look at your larger time frames, I want to look at that weekly green dot, not a trigger wave, but trigger wave on the 5. Let me just see this real quick. On the 5, yeah, trigger wave here on the 5-day. That would be a hidden bull div. So, things do generally point to jumping upward a little bit more. Trigger wave forming on the 4 hour. It could take some time, but I do think you're looking at that 3,600, and then, ETH ETF coming out tomorrow. It's going to be traded. Maybe that'll help us out. Maybe it won't, but I do think there's a decent shot of jumping up to 3,800, and then up to a lot of these areas. Maybe even hitting 5,000. Maybe even making new all-time high. If ETH does jump up quickly against Bitcoin with the ETF, who knows if that'll happen? It's hard to say though. ETH versus Bitcoin is concerning on this weekly. That doesn't look good. But decent on the macro on that 2 week and that monthly. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely have to see what happens. I could potentially see it bleeding more against Bitcoin and making a lower low into the Fed pivot in September or whatever. So definitely got to keep our eyes on that. Solana, looking good. Obviously, a coin that's outperformed a lot of things for a long time now. Trigger wave right there on their larger time frames. About to hit this, the high of May, that high right there, and then potentially jumping through that, getting up to 206. There's a possibility. There's a possibility there. And then, money flow generally coming up. I mean, I guess it could come deeper with the money flow here, but I like how that's looking. I do like how that's looking. This continuation looks good in the 4-hour. Same thing could be said on the 5-hour with that money flow still looking strong. 3-hour kind of in between. Green dot's not terrible. 2-hour looking pretty good. So, I'm looking at 190 in the short term, and then potentially, if Bitcoin can make a new all-time high, this could get up to, where's your all-time high on ETH? Yeah, 260. I mean, that would be a big jump from where we are right now, but 50% up. I mean, stranger things have happened. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I think it would surprise a lot of people. I mean, the big place we want to really look at for Sol, though, is going to be, right around here, right around 270 something. And, a potential trade setup you could try with this. I mean, Sol's been a good one to trade. I've done pretty well with some trades. Can you get a 1-on-1 like that? Oh, yeah, even more than a 1-on-1. You could try to run this up. You could try to definitely run this up here. We'll just got to keep an eye on it, see what happens. For the fun ones, I mean, I've been hesitant to really talk about memes. You guys know I don't talk about memes too much. Popcat is the popular meme people have talked about. Trigger wave, maybe you could jump up higher to $1.35 over on Popcat if that does, the year of the cats instead of the dogs or whatever. Concerning as hell on the on the 12-hour, the 10-hour. Just like ETH and Bitcoin, though, I would assume it would be a more volatile version of what ETH and Bitcoin end up doing here. Pretty risky. Maybe you could jump up higher. I probably wouldn't, though. I just don't like how this 16-hour looks. Pretty bad. Crypto.com, I was looking at, a few of these other ones, kind of lagging behind a little bit. But, weekly confirmed anchor wave, trying to get that trigger on the 2-week. There's a few of these that could be brewing something, maybe a little bit. Tesla earnings are coming out, I think, in a day or two or something. I still like how Tesla looks, in terms of stocks to look at. Don't think we're done as of yet, unless, I wouldn't be selling this until that trigger wave, kind of starts printing on that 2-week, which I think could be months away, if not more. This could really, do some such situation like up here with that wave and then bring us up to close to all-time highs, if not making a new all-time high. I do think Tesla could follow in the footsteps of what we saw, with Apple stock, Amazon in terms of coming back to all-time highs. Speaking of Amazon, some of these are coming down a little bit, looking scary on that 2-week for Amazon. So we definitely got to see, what happens here. But some of these, NASDAQ, I want to look at the 2-week on the NASDAQ. Nothing bad as of yet, but we do got to keep our eye on this because you almost hit that big point there. Decent fib level rejected kind of from that. And these larger time frames are a little concerning, but it's how it normally always looks. Usually the hidden bull divs, like which is confirmed in the 5-hour, which is confirmed in the 6-hour, and then trigger waves on the 8-hour usually save the day. So, the pattern we've been in, this would be a reverse head and shoulders here, potentially jumping up to back above 20K. So that's what we'd be looking at on the NASDAQ right now. All right, guys, that's all I have right now. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button, check out the exchanges down below, and check out the Discord down below. I always appreciate you guys. I will see you guys in the Discord. Goodbye.